I grew up in a very broken family. I was raised in a couple different denominations. I was raised in Southern Baptist and Catholic. That made it pretty confusing as a young man trying to determine what God looked like in my life and how that worked. Later on in life, I struggled with addiction in my adult years. That lasted on and off until I was about 38. And then one day I was walking down the street and I started having chest pains and my arm went numb, my left arm, and I took a little driveway that cut up to a apartment complex and rested at the base of an oak tree and just had tears rolling down my face. My eyes were full of tears, and I looked up at the sky through the trees, saw the sunlight shining through, and I remember thinking, God, if this is my time, take me now. I don't ever want to feel like this again. That was the first day that I hit my knees and asked for help. This significant change came after about 10 years clean when my daughter walked in this very room and said she wanted to get baptized. And we had already gone to one of the 3 sessions at Church for the One that we were told to try. And I asked her why, and she told me she wanted to get closer to God, and she knew that was how she was going to get to heaven. So we sat down and had a conversation, and she asked me to get baptized with her. And so May 7th, 2023, we both got baptized at Church for the One. And from that moment forward, my life changed. I was sitting in this room one day when my best friend from high school called me and said he had something to talk to me about and asked if I was sitting down. I said, yeah, what's going on? So he told me that he found out his daughter was pregnant and he didn't know what to do. Told him to join us online. And I said, you're gonna find out that when there's a sermon that you watch, you're gonna think that the pastor wrote it exactly for you. On May 5th, he joined for the very first time. VJ greeted him in the little intro in the lobby with his microphone, said welcome, Nathan, and then Pastor Kevin did some shout outs online, called several people, and then he said Nathan from Georgia, and then the next thing you know, he gave a sermon called Burdens and Blessings. We got done, I found out my second daughter was getting baptized that day. So Nathan watched for the first time online. My daughter showed up for church to get baptized that day. And then when we got done, we walked outside and got in the vehicle, and I called him, and he was in tears. And he said, you were right. This thing that I thought was going to be a burden is now going to become the greatest blessing. And I said, yeah, absolutely. So after the blessings and burdens sermon, I did pray for the burdens in my life. My son overdosed that day. I spent quite a bit of time talking with Tyler in the cafeteria, and he prayed over myself and my son right after that had happened. And then the other day, I was speaking to him on the phone. He's in a treatment center, and I was telling him that I was going to be at church baptizing people, and he said he wanted to get baptized. So as soon as he gets out of treatment, he wants to come to Church for the One, and I'll get to see the final piece of my 3 children getting baptized at Church for the One in the last year and a half. I'll do whatever you want, just make it really obvious for me. So that happened. I prayed that prayer, and now everything that I think that God wants me to do becomes so obvious. We go to baptize Nathan in Georgia, and all these people come running up behind us to get baptized too. We have friends that are struggling with addiction. We meet them right where they're at, give them a Bible. Next thing you know, they're coming to church for the first time, and they're getting baptized too, or they're bringing their relatives and they're getting baptized too. There was a moment where VJ and I prayed in the sanctuary, and he said that he felt that I would bring 20 people to Christ. And I think we're at 7 now, And I really, really don't think that 20 is enough. I think that God's way bigger than that. I think that He'll do much more than that. But whatever He wants me to do, I'm going to listen. And that's the difference that's changed everything in my life.